What is going on, everyone? AP over here at Rumpier Sports, bringing you the Strokes Gained show with my two guys. First, we got Hoop. Hoop, how's it going, my man?
Oh, well, ready for this U.S. Open. Should be a lot of fun. Obviously got a loaded field as always in the majors, but you get this loaded field with a course that is projected to play very, very tough. It's going to be a lot of fun, and looking forward to breaking it down with you guys. It is a major week, so as always, the regular Uncle T decides to just go ahead and ditch us for the Wednesday show. But once again, we get that upgrade for the majors. Our boy Snyder, let's go.
Yeah, so like I was thinking about it, and it's an upgrade, but honestly, what it is, we're bringing in the big dogs, the big guns, Snyder, the guy that's picked 9 winners, outright winners in his article year to date. I think it's 9. Yeah, Snyder, how's it going, man? How are you feeling about this week? How'd you do last week?
Yeah, it's going good, man. I'm ready to watch this golf course humble some of these guys. It's always one of my favorite tournaments of the whole year. Love to see some of these guys struggle and with these tough conditions.
Last week, Snyder, do you got someone in mind? Like, this show is going to be fun. A lot of shit talking, a lot of, I already know kind of where your head's going to be at. I've seen you in chat, man. You've been chirping.
Yeah, I know one of these guys is definitely going to struggle. I mean, we'll get to that later, but yeah, last week wasn't terrible. I mean, the main slate was pretty bad, but round 2 showdown, round 4 showdown really was good. And then I forgot that I made a bet on Higo at some point, sometime. Threw like $10 on him. And
freaking Snyder,
backdoored into that. I didn't even know I had it until I checked my bets at the end of the round.
I mean, you knew Chesson Hadley would just piss down his leg. I mean,
oh yeah,
yeah.
You know the CH in Chesson stands for choke, right?
Yeah, 100%.
He wasted no time either. It's not like a couple of pars and melted down, like right out of the gate, just fucking meltdown.
God, the beautiful thing about that is like the cameras were on his wife, who surprised him. Like, showed up, didn't know, he didn't know she was there, and they're just like showing her, and she's just face like this and stuff, just all nervous. And he's not ready for the big stage yet, but it was, I wish I would have had more than him. He former workbench play of the week, Chesson Hadley, finished second, had the tournament, had it there. It was his to win, and he lost it. But that's kind of how it goes. Higo obviously is a stud. We'll talk about him. He's in this event this week. We got some housekeeping items to let's just take care of real quick. It's U.S. Open week, like Hoop said. We're at Torrey Pines. It's going to be a phenomenal golf course, really tough test of golf. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. You should have done that already. I mean, if you haven't done that yet, I really don't know what you're doing. And you should just leave and not be here for what we're doing later in the show. Because if you weren't aware, our guy D Nasty Ma, he had a big week a couple weeks ago. He is giving out a ticket, $888 ticket, $150K to first place. That is going out to a member. You got to be a member, and you don't have to be in chat, but I'm telling you, if you're in our chat tonight in YouTube, I'm gonna pull that up. A producer is going to be watching for different comments in there. You're gonna have a much better chance to win. And what we're looking for, guys, I want your best take. It could be funny, that usually helps, but has to be relevant to the U.S. Open. And put your take on it. Don't spam the chat. Don't ask, if you're in there posting it 3 or 4 times, it doesn't matter how funny it is. You're probably not going to make the list. So please respect those rules. We'll find a winner. We'll pull and pick a winner before we pick our winners this week. And so you got a lot of time. So think about it. Be creative. Don't, right off the bat, don't waste your time. So put some thought into it. Be creative, and we'll find that winner. Again, shout out to D Nasty Ma, absolute GOAT. Been talking to him for quite some time. We're both getting into multi-enter strategy, and so it's fun breaking that down with him each and every week. All right, with that in mind, Snyder, let me kick it to you. Can you give us a little course breakdown of how you think Torrey is going to play this week?
Yeah, it's going to be a long track. It's going to play about 7,600, 7,700 yards in that range. Hitting fairways is going to be absolutely key here. The fairways are going to be a little more narrow than they were for the Farmers. And from everything I've seen, that the rough is going to gradually get longer from the tee all the way to the green. I've seen some photos around some of these greens, and there's guys dropping balls around these greens, and the ball is just disappearing. Around the green game is going to be very tough. You absolutely need to hit these fairways. You need to be able to hit the greens. Like a strokes gained approach is going to be huge. Long iron play. I think there's 7 par 4s that are going to be in that 450 to 500 range. So we're going to be looking at guys like that. Good long iron play. And yeah, it's going to come down to POA. We're going to have some POA here. And that's going to be different as the day goes on. That POA is going to change, and it's going to start growing and getting bumpier. And there's going to be a lot of missed putts here, shorter than usual. And the last time this course is played, it's usually played in January for the Farmers. And the rough here is usually overseeded with ryegrass. And the Kikuyu really isn't in play as much. But now the Kikuyu is fully in, and this rough is going to play night and day different, I think, than it does for the Farmers.
Yeah, very good breakdown. When I look at, just to kind of add on to what Snyder said, because I do think it's important to understand the course this week. And what I'm looking at it is in relation to past U.S. Open events. So last year at Winged Foot, we had a lot of dog legs, and the rough was thick everywhere. And so what we found was everyone had a problem hitting fairways. And Bryson was just able to hack it out of the fairway, which gave him a nice, or the rough, and which gave him a nice advantage. And so I don't think that's going to be the case this week. When I look at this course, there's not many dog legs. It's all right out in front of the golfers. It's straight. So you want a guy who can hit it straight. You want a guy who's hitting fairways. What I'm also looking for is around the green play. I want good par 4 scoring. And I just want those guys that can compete. The other thing too is guys, when you look at the contest this week, like you're maxing, like I'm going to max the $10 150 milli. You got to make stands in that. You can't, sprinkle plays here and there. You got to make some big stands. And I feel I've done that. We're going to talk about that here on the show tonight. So yeah, if you're new with us, again, what we do is we go tier by tier. We talk about each range. I have a feeling we're going to spend a little bit more time on the upper tier. I think it's a very, very important tier to get right this week. And I'm very confident in all of us and the fact that we're going to get it right. So one last thing before I kick it over to Hoop. Again, if you missed the intro, we're giving out an 888 ticket. D Nasty, a member of ours, absolute stud, a GOAT, giving out an 888 ticket. We're going to announce that at the end of the show. Give us your best take this week. Make it nice and simple. Doesn't have to be long. It can be funny. Just your best take. Don't spam the chat, and we'll pick that winner. Hoop, let me kick it over to you. What are you doing with this 10K and up range this week?
Yeah, I really do think like what you do up top, and not just in this 10K range, the 9K range as well, will dictate what happens this week. It's very likely that the winner of this tournament, is in this upper tier. We see it at the majors all the time. It's the elite golfers in the world that end up rising to the top. I don't think this week is going to be any different. And you're going to have to nail the right guys, obviously, to have a chance. Your builds are going to have to be right, obviously, to have a chance. And not necessarily, I guess I'm trying to say, is the way you build your teams. Are you going to play 2 guys up top and then a bunch of guys low? Are you going to hammer the mid tier, which I really think is what most people do this week. I really think, and we see it all the time in these majors. People love going balanced and getting 6 guys that they feel comfortable with. So, this kind of just leads right into the Jon Rahm talk. Jon Rahm's 11-2. He's the favorite to win this event. He's 10-1 basically on every book, somewhere in that range. I personally think he comes in lower owned than what I'm seeing in terms of projected ownership. A lot of places are saying around 20-some%. I don't think that's going to be the case this week. I think Jon Rahm is one spot where we're surprised by the ownership. I think he comes in lower than that. because people will go to the balance. I mean, 11-2 for John Rahm, or you can come down and look at the guys in the 9K range. You Cantlay, Hovland, Schauffele, Morikawa, Justin Thomas. You have Tony Finau, 89. Do people want to play, John Rahm and a 7K guy, or do they want to play 2 9K guys? I think most people end up playing the 2 9K guys. So I like John Rahm this week. I really like him. He's had a lot of success at this course. I know it's going to play a little bit different, but he's familiar with the overall layout here. I'm going to be on Rahm, and I don't think I need to allocate a ton to get over the field. I could be wrong. That's a chance I'm willing to take. I really think Rahm comes in lower than people think. Spieth, this has to be one of the worst possible layouts for Jordan Spieth. A long course with rough, and you want to be somewhat accurate off the tee. If I'm going to play someone that sprays the ball off the tee, it's going to be someone that hits it long, not someone that doesn't hit it necessarily super long in Jordan Spieth. I don't think he'll be highly owned this week. I'm fading him, and we've been on Spieth a lot lately. We got on him somewhat early, I'd say, and we're able to reap the benefits of him turning around his game. But this is just not the place for him, and you're paying the full Monty. Dustin Johnson. People will be on him a little bit. I mean, he did. I guess it depends how you look at it. Did he bounce back last week? Yeah, he got a top 10, but it was literally an alternate field event. Some of the worst. I mean, that was the worst field we've seen in a long time, and he wasn't able to win. He got a top 10. If he plays like he did, let's say the field last week is like this one, he played like he did, he probably misses a cut in relation to how strong the field is. So the top 10, I'm not impressed with last week. He continues just to make big scores. He kind of was working his way back into contention on Sunday, landed a triple, took him right out. I'm not impressed still. I was hoping to see something. I was hoping, I played him a lot last week. I was really hoping to come, see him just kind of lap the field last week. Did not see it. Didn't see anything that I really liked in his game. I won't be playing him this week, and he could bite me, but overall, I mean, he just has not been all that great for the last few months. I'm fine being off of him. Now Bryson's where I think we might have some disagreements on the show, because I know for sure one guy on here is going to be off Bryson. I'm going to be on him for a couple of reasons. I am really valuing driving distance. I know some people are saying, driving accuracy, overall driving, I guess you can look at the driving stats in a bunch of different ways. I want guys that hit it far this week. I think a lot of people will be missing the fairways. Yeah, they're very, very tight. There's very few guys I think that are going to be able to hit these on a consistent basis. You can just bank on guys playing out of the rough very frequently. And if I'm going to bank on the field playing out of the rough very frequently, Bryson's a guy I wanted to be on, because he has the ability to get the ball out of the rough much better than basically anyone else in this field. So at 10-4, where I know he's going to be a lot further than most of these guys, I'm going to play him. I don't care if he's not hitting fairways. If he's out of the rough, I'm fine with that. The rough, it's going to be tough. I mean, for some of these guys, if they hit the ball in the rough, it's going to cost them a half a stroke or a stroke. There's no way around it. They can't get out of it. For Bryson, if he's in the rough, I don't think that's necessarily the case. Brooks, still undecided. I have not decided what I'm going to do with Brooks. I know he's elite in these majors. I know he's elite in the U.S. Open. I reached out to Snyder just to kind of see what he was thinking. And I'm a little closer to saying I'm going to play him, but I'm not fully decided on what I'm going to do with Brooks. Like I said, I know he's great at majors. His game's perfect for this course. His game is, perfect for the way the U.S. Open's set up. But for me in this range, for sure, I'm going to be on Rahm. For sure, I'm going to be on Bryson. Haven't really decided what I'm going to do with Brooks yet.
Yeah, very, very interesting. And this is the range, and especially Bryson DeChambeau, in particular, that I was really undecided on. I know just, 12 hours ago, I was talking with Snyder, and, we were definitely making fun of Bryson, but you make a very compelling case for him. And I'm all ears. I've not made any firm decisions on him yet. But I definitely understand that, and I get it. Before I give my comments, Snyder, let me kick it to you. Well, I mean, I know you're going to have some disagreements from our conversations But what are you doing with this top range?
Yeah, I'm looking at mainly just two guys up here. I mean, John Rahm, elite guy. I mean, he should just set up really well here. I mean, the course history here is really good. Man, he's coming off that brutal beat where he had that 6-shot lead. Everybody knows. I mean, he's going to be coming in all pissed off and looking to make some noise here. Definitely like him. Looking down, Spieth, there's no way I can play him. He struggles to find the fairway, and his course history here is not near good enough for this price tag. Dustin Johnson played good last week, I guess you could say. Like Coop was saying, his driving accuracy worries me here off him. Bryson, he's got a small shaft and he's scared to death of Brooks.
No. Hold on. Snyder, I have a video and I can send it in chat. I send it all the time. He's got a fat shaft. Dottie Pepper or whatever is on camera saying that. So
I do agree that
she doesn't lie. I post that all the time in Discord. It's so funny.
Huge pussy move on Bryson's part. I do agree with you there. I mean, just give the people what they want. Like get the pairing going. What a little bitch. I do agree with you there.
I think it's pretty funny what the PGA did with him. I mean, they're like, all right, you don't want to play with him. You're not even going to be in a feature group then. I think he's probably the first former winner not to even be in a feature group the next year. I mean, that's pretty funny. They stuck him with a couple of scrubs and were like, go tee off late early.
Dude, doesn't that help him though, Snyder? When I looked at the groupings,
possibly.
I think that helps him. Like I do. I think if he's paired with Brooks, I think that's like the worst case.
Yeah,
for him.
I mean, you could take that both ways. I mean, he's paired with a couple of scrubs. Those guys might be out there shooting 85 or something. It's really going to slow him down. It could give him some bad mojo. And I mean, these fans are just going to be on him like crazy after this.
Snyder, Bryson's the type where if someone shoots like a 90, he's just going to do better. Like he's going to shoot even better because he's going to be like, that dude sucks. Like absolutely sucks. Yeah. So
right on.
It's where he gets, yeah. So, I mean, it's really, really interesting though. So,
yeah, I mean, anytime you get Big Dick Brooks, he tees it up for a major. He's definitely in the mix to win. I mean, you look back at his cumulative scoring at majors since 2016, he's minus 82. The next closest guy is minus 23. That's nearly a 60-stroke difference, which is just unreal. I mean, he's got the formula down for how to win these majors. He's going to hit the fairway. He's going to he's going to shoot at the middle of the green. He's going to take his par and he's going to move on. And he's going to definitely capitalize when he's got these scoring opportunities. He's going to make his birdies when he has to, keep his head down and just roll. And if you watched that show last week, the betting show, I was like, you can get plus 400 at Brooks to miss the cut here. I'm like, there's no way he's even considering playing the weekend here. I mean, he came out, he worked on a few things, and him and Jenna were in San Diego by Friday, I think. Yep. And in the last 3 U.S. Opens, he's gained at least 15 strokes total, finishing second, first, and first. I mean, he just thrives for these big-time events. We're looking for his 5th major this week, and I think he gets it.
Yeah, good comments. For me, I got to make at least 2 cuts. I wanted to make 3 cuts in the 10K and upper range. And I'm torn. There's no way I can cut John Rahm. He's in my pool. I'm going to be very overweight on him. I think he's one of the best plays on the slate. Just his record at Torrey, what he went through at the Memorial, how good his game was. Everything is clicking for him right now. I could not imagine fading him. So Spieth is an easy cut for me. And honestly, Dustin Johnson is going to be an easy cut for me. He hasn't been good off the tee, and you can't play everyone up here. I was impressed for like a day and a half last week. He should have absolutely ran away with that field. But this dude lost to Chesson Hadley in round 3. Are you kidding me? How could I play DJ when he's losing to Chesson Hadley on day 3? DJ's a cut for me. I can't do it. Like Chesson absolutely embarrassed him. I think what happened with DJ, because obviously he's the number 1 golfer in the world right now. That's going to change here soon, in my opinion. But I think what happened is he went on that incredible run, won the Masters, and he just, he lost. I don't know if you want to call it focus. I don't think he's ever that focused, but his game's a little off. And that obviously happens. It happens all the time. So I'm going to be off him. Koepka, it was the other guy that I just absolutely wanted to go overweight on this week. Snyder, we can take a victory lap on that. You started it, so I'll give you more of the credit. But he was on an airplane, right after his round. He was like absolutely gone. He was already in California and San Diego. They took a red-eye private jet. They were there first thing in the morning at their place. They rented a sick place. I was following them around, and he got a fresh haircut. I mean, he looks ready to go. And you could tell, I could tell at that the event last week, he had this little 5-foot putt early in his round on the second day. And he just, he pulled it left. You could tell he was just trying to miss the putt, making sure that he wasn't, going to even have a chance to slide in. So
yeah, he got close there, and he had to make bogey on 14 and 15 to make sure he wasn't going to make the cut, because he was right there.
Okay, so we talk about this all the time, and what happens is we see him the week before. We see his approach game off. He had some approach shots that you're just like, what are you doing? And that's just lowering his ownership. But then we see it every single time we get to a U.S. Open, PGA Championship. Those are his 2 events that he just smashes. He's always there right at the end. So you know what? I don't care. No one is talking me off of Brooks Koepka this week. I think he is the top play out of everyone. I'm going to be very, very overweight on him. I'm going to have a lot more of Koepka than Bryson. But, I mean, I just, when I look at these fairways with Bryson, and then you factor in Hoop's comments, and the other thing, just to add to Hoop's comments, these a lot of these fairways, when you look at, they're straight drives. There's not many dog legs. He's not going to have to get as creative as he had to at some of these other events. So I do think there is a case to be made for Bryson. I had him on the fade list. I took him off, just kind of breaking it down. I don't know where he's going to land for me, but I don't think he's a fade for the community. But for me personally, I'm going to be very, very overweight on Koepka. I'm going to be very, very overweight on Rahm. Those are my 1 and 2s. Hoop, what were your 1 and 2s in this range?
Yeah, Rahm and Bryson. I'm going to join you guys with Brooks. I like to take the opportunity on this show to, kind of get talked on to guys, talk off guys. I think I can play 3 of these guys up top the way I'm building teams this week. So I'm gonna be on board with Brooks.
I like it. Snyder, give us your 1 and 2, and then take us into the 9K range.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Brooks 1 and Rahm 2. And then for this 9K range, I'm looking at we got Rory McIlroy. He's just under 10K, which you hardly ever see him under 10K. The iron play has been coming back the last 3 events. It's been trending upward. I really like what I see there. I think it just comes down to his driver this week, and if he's able to find these fairways or not. It's been hit or miss depending on where he's at. I think this course should really set up well for him, though. He likes to hit a little cut or a little fade, and a lot of these holes should cater to that, I think. And he does have the power to play from the rough if it's needed. The putter's been coming alive. We've seen that. The putter was awesome at Quail Hollow for his win. I think another thing that's really been holding him back the last 3 majors is his first round scoring. He's shot 75, 76, 75 in his last 3 majors opening round, and that just puts him in a hole, and now he's playing catch up the rest of the week. And so I think if he can get out and shoot 71 or 72, that's really going to put him in a better position going forward. I think he's a guy that's going to slip through the cracks here, and I expect him to be under 10% owned. And the next guy, I'm going to like Colin Morikawa. He's the best ball striker on tour. California kid. The last time a major was held in Golden State here, Morikawa won the PGA. He should be used to these POA greens more so than any other surface, I think, since he's played so much golf here in the past. And he's coming off of one of his best putting performances in quite some time, gaining over 5 strokes at the Memorial, where he lost in a playoff. He did miss a putt in the playoff. It's about a 12-footer, I think. But his strokes gained, approach, and tee to green, It's just absurd. Over the last 10 events, he's averaging 8.4 strokes gain tee to green and 6.2 strokes approach. In the par fours, 450 to 500, I think there's 7 of those here. He ranks number 1 in that. Definitely like that. Hits the fairway at a high clip. I think he makes for a very strong play here and should be lower owned, I think, because you got Xander, Hovland, Finau, a few guys below him that I think are going to suck ownership away from him like we've seen in the past. And then when we can get down to Xander here, it's really hard to look past what he's done in the U.S. Opens. I mean, he's played this event 4 times. He's never finished worse than 6th, which is very good for this price tag. It's in San Diego, which is right in his backyard. He grew up right here. He's gained over 12 or over 11 strokes total at every U.S. Open he's played, which is awesome. Comes off an 11th place finish at the Memorial, where he gained 6 strokes approach. The irons are right there. He gained 3 strokes off the tee. I mean, he should just set up really well here. And I'm not sure about Hovland here. I mean, he's coming off a couple of like off events for him. He finished 47th at the Memorial. He's secure. I mean, I think he's all right. I mean, he placed 2nd place at the Farmers, I think, but he sometimes tends to miss fairways, and his around the green game can give him troubles as well. So I think I'm going to be off of him. Not sure about Patrick Reed. I mean, he should come in low owned. Nobody ever likes to play him. The key to his game is that short game. He's got that strong short game. His up and downs are just incredible. Putting as well. He enters this U.S. Open off of a 5th place finish at the Memorial. His U.S. Open history is pretty solid. I mean, he's went 13th, 32nd, 4th, and 13th in his last 4. I think he makes for a good GPP play in this lower 9K range, and that's it.
Yeah, this range is loaded, and we're going to be able to get a lot of guys into this into your builds from this range, and so I do think it's an important one to break down. And I agree with a lot of those guys that you mentioned, and even Pat Reed. I'm kind of surprised with how I feel about him, and I'm really interested to see where our guy Hoop is on him. So Hoop, like, what are you doing with the 9K range? And me and you are never on Pat Reed. I kind of like him this week, but I'm really interested to see where you're at on him.
Yeah, this is, a loaded range. And like I said, what you do from 9K and above likely dictates your week, because I just really think the winner comes from somewhere up top. This isn't a week where I think these guys lower down are going to have a chance to win. So, starting at the top, if I like Brooks here, I kind of have to like Rory a little bit for the same reasons, because the off the tee game. They can hit it way out there, and Rory is kind of similar to Brooks, where he's the one where I feel that he can also kind of get it out of the rough with not ease, but better than the rest of the field. So I definitely have interest in Rory. Morikawa. I'm sticking with my boy Snyder on Morikawa. I just think he's a top 5, top 10 golfer. And if there's one guy I feel confident that he can hit it in the fairway and hit a good iron shot, it's Morikawa. And, I'm not banking on a lot of these guys hitting a ton of fairways, to be honest with you, this week. But Morikawa, I think, is one of the exceptions. We've seen it all the time. It's just very simple with him. If his putter is just not a full-on disaster, he's going to be live to win the event. It's very simple. We've seen it since he's come on tour. If he has an average putting week, he's going to be in contention to win. And, if you can give me that with my golfer, I'll take that all day. So I'm going to be a Snyder on Morikawa. Xander, he'll probably be the highest owned guy in the field. But like we always see at these majors, the ownership typically does get spread out quite a bit. There's not a lot of guys that are owned to the point where you have to think about fading them. Everything just lines up for Xander. Literally everything. The success at the U.S. Open, played Torrey Pines a ton, lives in the area, just his game's in good shape. He's always, contending in majors. See no reason to fade him. And I hope people tried to take the stance like, oh, Schauffele's going to be the highest owned guy in this range, I'll just fade him. I've heard some podcasts and shows already talking about that. So I hope that is the case. The problem I have in this range is I just like all these guys, and I know I can't play them all. Hovland at 9-2, I think he's another guy that can just bomb it out there, and he probably has a decent chance of getting out of the rough. Cantlay, we were on him at the Memorial because we kind of thought he turned a corner in his game, and what do you know, we were right. He's just much better than that weird stretch that he had. Just playing real bad, missing the cuts and stuff. He's just not. He's much better than that. 9-1, I think, is a very fair price for him. And then the last guy, Patrick Reed. I mean, obviously, I'm always off Patrick Reed. I'm not going to be playing too many guys that I think will need to grind it out, I guess, on this course. Now, everyone's going to have to grind it out. It's a tough course, but I'm saying, like, he doesn't have the skill set where he is left with a lot of outs. He's got to be more precise than a lot of these guys this week. And I think he can do it here at the US Open. And you guys know me, I'm never on Patrick Reed. But at 9K, I kind of like him. With that being said, though, I just basically said I like everyone in this range, and I know that I can't play everyone in this range. So when I go and sit down and start building some teams, I am going to have to make some cuts in this range. I already know that because, like I said, I like just about everyone here, and definitely can't play them all. So there will be cuts on my end.
Yeah, let me start with like my cuts, and I think you guys are going to be surprised about my first one, but I got to cut Justin Thomas this week. Man, so his history in U.S. Opens isn't that good. 8th, 88, 25th, 9th, 32nd. And then he has no history at Torrey Pines either, and which is something I want to see. I want to see some familiarity with the course. And the other thing too with Justin Thomas, okay, he's very good on approach right now. His ball striking is very good. He's been a good around the greens, and he's good on par 4 scoring, which is what I want to see. The guy off the green has been a disaster. His putter has been even more of a disaster. To make matters worse, I know we make fun of putting splits a lot, but when you get to POA versus Bermuda, Bent, I do think POA, there's something about POA. It's just a bumpier surface as the day goes on. Certain guys are good on it. Certain guys are not. Justin Thomas is one of the worst POA putters out there. And then I'm watching the interview, or I'm watching just the PGA Tour channel or whatever, or the golf channel. They're, showing everyone. And this guy has he's just sitting there grinding on the putting green. And it's just like, yeah, you could look at that and you could say he's grinding, he's working hard. I look at that as saying, man, this guy is going to be over every putt nervous, overthinking it. And that's not what you want when you're putting on POA. You want someone like a John Rahm, who's a very good POA putter, going up to it and just hitting the ball and, going with it. So, man, it pains me, but I'm going to be off Justin Thomas. I actually think he's an easy cut this week. I feel I got a pretty good read on it. And honestly, it's kind of an easy read. If you just look, he missed the cut at the PGA. 40th at the Charles Schwab, 42nd at the Memorial. I don't think we can play him. I think he's an easy cut. Rory. So Rory is actually good at putting on POA. I love the straight fairways here. I think it sets up well for him. And Hoop, I love your comments too. I do think he's going to be one of those guys that can hack it out of this rough. And look, he just won at the Wells Fargo. And so, that's a tough course. I think that's something we have to factor in here. He's played Torrey. He has a 16th, 3rd, and 5th at Torrey. And one other thing, shout out to BigT. And I don't want to give BigT too many shout outs. I'd rather be talking crap, talking shit to him. But shout out to him. I got a sheet pulled up right now. If you're not a member, you can only get this if you're a member and if you're in Discord. But this sheet is very organized, has the odds. I can see Torrey Pines history and past U.S. Open history. So I'm looking at that, and I like what I see with Rory. The only thing I don't like is JT is favored against him in head-to-heads. And so how I take that is the books, maybe they don't know what's up. I would definitely take Rory in that head-to-head because I'm off JT for sure this week. Just moving along in this range, I do think the best play in this range as Morikawa. Snyder's boy, I don't need to really add much to him. It's just, look, this guy is elite off the tee, the best ball striker, the best on approach, and not a great POA putter, but we don't have enough data there to really confirm it. I'm hoping that this bumpy POA surface kind of evens the playing field for him. And so I love him. Cantlay, Reed, I'm on them too. The other guy I'm not really on is Hovland. I don't know what to do with him. I know he's going to be popular. He always is. And it seems like he always gets it done. But for whatever reason, you can't play everyone. You got to make cuts. I'm cutting Justin Thomas. I'm cutting Hovland right now. And I like Reed. I like Cantlay, Xander, and Morikawa, and Rory. I want to make one more cut. But as you said, it's tough. So, Snyder, what are your 1 and 2 in this range?
It's going to be Morikawa 1, and I think I'm going to go Rory 2.
I like that. Yeah, I agree with those. Hoop, you're 1 and 2, and then take us into the 8K range.
So 1 is definitely Xander. Like I have to be all over Xander this week. I don't care how owned he is. Number 2 is, it's probably Rory. I'm talking myself into Rory more and more as the week goes on. Snyder, what sort of ownership are we looking at with Rory?
I think Rory's going to be under 10%. I'm seeing like 7-8% right now. I mean, the guy that's actually getting steamed up the most is kind of Bryson in that top 10, top tier range.
Yeah. Interesting. All right. Well, the next range, 8K range. Okay. So this is where things get a little simpler for me. I mean, I think we're all kind of named off a lot of guys 9K and above that we have interest in. I think that if you're going to play that many guys up top, you're going to have to make some tougher cuts down here in this range. Now, Tony Finau, he is a lot like Xander this week. A lot of things line up perfectly for Tony Finau. The game was gone for a while, trending back in the right direction. Had the 10th at the Masters, missed a cut at the Wells Fargo, but 8th at the PGA Championship. I think we can now kind of say that he gets up for these majors. And we've seen it. AP, you kind of talked about it going into the Masters. You were on him when everyone was off him because of how bad he played. You kind of thought that maybe, he's one of these big game hunters a little bit. Maybe he's a Brooks Jr. And I think that could potentially be the case. The course sets up nicely for him. Again, a lot of things working in his favor at 8-9. He is a guy I'll definitely be on. But after him, I start to make a lot of cuts. Matsuyama, definitely not playing at 8-8. I mean, the win at the Masters was phenomenal. But after that, the game has not been in great shape. So I think he's an easy fade for me. Webb Simpson, I'm not going to play Webb Simpson at this course. I mean, his game type does not fit what I'm looking for. He's been solid though. And he's the one guy I'm kind of scared to fade, but I won't be on him. Zalatoris, we've been on Zalatoris quite a bit. He's been very good at these majors. Unfortunately, I just like the guys in the 9K range more. Scotty Scheffler is a guy I'm interested in. If I can play him, I will. I just got to see how it shapes out, in terms of how my teams are looking. So he's on my short list. I'm open to playing him. If I need to cut him, I will. Berger, I think is kind of turned into this guy that does not show up for majors. The Masters missed a cut, PGA Championship 75th. It was a nice run for him, and maybe he still has it, but I'm going to be off him here. The course does not set up for him all that well either. Tyrell Hatton is a guy I do have some interest in. Corey Connors, a little bit of interest in. Louis, kind of in the same category as Patrick Reed for me. I like him at majors, and I kind of like him at tougher courses, even if it requires you to drive the ball far. I'm gonna be on Louis this week. No thanks on Rose. No thanks on Cam Smith for me. But like I said, this range, just because of what I'm doing, 9K and above, I can't be super high on a lot of these guys. My favorite by far is obviously Tony Finau.
Yeah, I have a feeling that I'm going to be agreeing with you. quite a bit in that range. Snyder, what are you doing down in the AK range?
Yeah, I'm kind of undecided on what I want to do with Finau yet. I mean, you can make a case for both sides of him. I mean, track record here is just absolutely great. It's elite. I mean, he does get up for these big major events. I mean, it's top 10 Tony, you know. But I mean, lately the driving accuracy has been a little hit or miss. I mean, he only hit 48% of his fairways at the Memorial. He's lost strokes putting 3 of his last 4 events. His last 2 events, he's actually lost over 4 strokes putting, which is kind of a little bit of a worry for me. So I'm not quite sure what I want to do with there. I know he'll probably be one of the top 3 owned players on the whole slate. Will Zalatoris right below him. I kind of like him. I think he's going to come in a little lower owned. And this kid just has no fear in playing these major events. You've seen him finish inside the top 10 in the last 3 majors he's played. I mean, this kid just gets up for it. He's a great long iron player, ranks 8th in approach over the last 24 rounds, long off the tee, plays these long par 4s really well. I mean, the thing that usually holds him back is the putter as well. But I mean, with this POA, maybe that could kind of play into his hands a little bit if it limits the chances for everyone else. I mean, I think we'll see him right around that top 10, top 15 range come Sunday, and we'll see. I mean, another guy that's been getting up for these bigger events is Scotty Scheffler right there. I mean, he's posted like top 20s in his last 4 or 5 big events. I don't mind that. I mean, Daniel Berger, like Hoop's saying, yeah, he doesn't really get up for these majors that well. He did finish 6th at the U.S. Open in 2018, but I'm not sure I can click that name. I mean, if he misses these greens, his short game is not good at all. I mean, he really struggles around the green, and with this long rough, I think that could really, really put him in trouble. Terrell Hatton's a guy I'm looking at down here. He came into that event last week. He's like, oh, I might be a little rusty. I haven't played in a while. And I mean, shaking off the rust to him is like gaining 14.6 strokes tee to green, then, I mean, he finished 2nd. He probably should have won, but he lost 3 strokes putting. I mean, the irons were just dead on for him. He plays his U.S. Open history is a little hit or miss. He's got a couple missed cuts, but he's also had a 6th in 2018 and a 21st in 2019. I think he makes for a solid value play near the bottom of this 8K range. And I think that's about it for me in this range, since I like that 9K range so much.
So, I mean, Snyder, one question real quick about Hatton. Do you think, I mean, there's no rough last week, so all of these guys were hitting fairways at a higher clip. Do you have any concern about that? Because it's going to be vastly different this week. You know, tighter fairways. We know he's usually not good off the tee. That's his weak point. Does that concern you at all?
Not really. He actually did really well off the tee last week, surprisingly. Not you say that. I mean, he hit 76% of his fairways, which was like.
Well, that's what I'm saying, though. There was no rough last week. So
right on.
Everyone was hitting fairways, Snyder.
Yeah, I hear you there. I mean, his scrambling percentages has been really, really good lately. I mean, he's up there at the top. I mean, he plays these par 4s well. He doesn't really play the par 5s that good, and there's only 3 of them here, so that could maybe possibly help him out too. I mean, he hits the ball long off the tee. His average driving distance the last 3 events have been over 300 yards, so that's positive. Hits greens pretty at a high clip. I mean, he's hit or miss. I mean, he's GPP type play, but I think it's a good value towards the end of this. I think he's going to come in pretty low owned. I haven't seen an ownership on him yet, but I can't imagine him being much over 10%, I wouldn't think.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. You know, for me in this range, I mean, it's Tony Finau is going to be popular, and rightfully so. Great history, like you guys have both said, great history at Torrey. He's good on these greens. He's trending in the right direction, which is why we got on him. For me, the question is how heavy do I go? He was one of my highest owned at the PGA Championship, and I don't think he. Let me pull it up so I don't make a fool out of myself. But T8. He got it done for me, and I think I had him at 55-60%. So my question is, if I had him at 55-60% at the PGA, do I go 70? You know, I do think 70. You know, we've all talked. Big T's kind of talked 70 is kind of that top number to where even if your high end guy kind of misses, you're still not completely dead, depending on where you're at. Instead of going all in, like there's kind of a lot to that, and so I'm taking that in my, so like with Tony Finau, it's, do I put him 65 to 70? I don't know where I'm going to be at, but I know I'm going to have a ton of them. The other thing about this is, man, if you look at these fairways, I'm going to say it again. I've said it many times. I'll probably say it one more time, maybe two more times. It's, it suits, a straight driver, someone who drives the ball really straight, really well. Tony Finau, I feel like part of his problem off the tee has been these dog legs. When you get to these other courses, Wells Fargo, and just other different places, trying to get too creative. It's all out in front of you. I think that's going to fit Tony Finau's eye really well. I'm going to be very overweight on him. I'm cutting. So let me get in my cuts. I think the cuts are easy for me. I'm cutting Daniel Berger. I don't know. You can't play everyone in this range. Maybe I get a little bit of him, but he hasn't been getting it done for me in majors. Scotty Scheffler, I'm torn on. Hatton, I was torn on. Corey Connors, I was even torn on as well. I'm very high on Louis Oosthuizen. I'm very high on Will Zalatoris. I'm cutting Webb Simpson. Webb withdrew. He had a neck or back issue, and so he withdrew from the what was it? I can't even remember what event it was, but it wasn't too long ago. Then he had the flu. And I don't think this course sets up too well for him. So I think he's an easy fade. I'm fading Hideki. So, that's a lot of fades for me in this range. But Louis, I'm very high on Louis. He's just been playing very good. T2 at the PGA. He's very good on POA. And he's been very good in U.S. Opens, surprisingly. Third, a 7th, a 16th, 23rd, 23rd. His last 5 finishes at U.S. Opens. And so very impressive results from Louis. The other guy, Justin Rose, this guy, so tilting. But, man, if you go back and look at major championships recently, 8th at the PGA, 7th at the Masters, then 23rd at the Masters, and he missed the cut at the last U.S. Open, 9th at the PGA. So it's like he's getting top 10s or, he missed one cut. So he's obviously showing up for these big events. I'm going to have some shares of Justin Rose, and I believe he has some decent experience here too. I was just kind of looking. I believe he has some very strong history here at Torrey as well. Not recently, but if I were to go back and look, I know he has a few top 10 finishes at Torrey Pines. So, and it kind of fits, that ball striker type of narrative. So for me in this range, it's pretty easy. It's Tony Finau, clearly my number one. And then I think Will Zalatoris is my number 2. And then I love Louis and I love Rose. Hoop, what were your 1 and 2 in this range?
Yeah, number 1 for sure is going to be Tony Finau. Really like him. He's obviously going to be popular. Number 2, I'm going to go with Louis. He just gets it done. If he doesn't withdraw, it seems like he's in contention. I don't think he's going to withdraw at the U.S. Open. So I'm going to play him. He plays tough courses well, plays these majors well. So, yeah, Finau and Louis.
Yeah, I like that a lot. And again, if you're just joining us right now, we're giving away an 888 ticket sponsored by our guy, D Nasty Ma, member, legend, awesome dude. He's going to ship big this week. I absolutely know it. Good Mojo does that. Give us your take this week. Your best take on the tournament, how it's going to finish, who you're on, whatever. You can make it funny. You don't have to make it funny. We are tracking them right now. Just start it with my take is. That way we can spot them a little bit easier. And we're going to announce that winner before we get to our own winner predictions for the U.S. Open this week. Snyder,
One
one
thing I wanted to add, which I heard earlier, I wanted to get your guys' take on. It was on just a little clip I saw online. They said last time this was played here for the U.S. Open, I believe, 2008, right? Tiger won it. They said Tiger won the event, and his average proximity to the fairway was the worst in the field. Okay, so like his average distance off the fairway he was the worst in the field and ran away with the event. Now, do you guys, buy into that at all as, hey, it doesn't really matter if you hit fairways or not here? Or are you going to buy into the fact, well, that was back then when Tiger was just dominating and, the field was a lot weaker? What are your guys' thoughts on that?
I don't think I can buy into that, really. I mean, that was Tiger Woods against freaking Rocco Mediate. I mean,
I know.
No. It was literally, all right, hold on. It was, Rocco Mediate, Robert Carlson, DJ Trahan, Miguel Jimenez, John Merritt, Carl Peterson.
I thought it was interesting to hear that, though. I mean, he won this event, and his proximity to the fairway was literally worst in the entire field.
Yeah, I mean, AP. I looked and found Rose, his recent form at the Farmers, and you're absolutely right. I mean, he won this event in 2019, 8th in 2018, and a 4th in 2017 for Rose at the Farmers here. I mean, I definitely am going to be bought onto that.
Okay, now I found it. So like Big T's sheet is it's categorized by odds, which I like, but how we do the show, we go tier by tier, and I couldn't find it. He's 60-1. And so, which is kind of surprising, but yeah, he had a run here at Torrey that was very impressive. I'm more impressed with just what he's doing in majors. The other thing that I don't understand, that I don't feel good about at all, is Phil Mickelson is a minus 137 favorite head-to-head against him. Really? I would take Rose in that head-to-head against Phil, what Rose has been doing in these majors. Like, I don't think that can be discounted at all.
Phil's betting numbers are so inflated this week from the PGA Championship week. I mean, you look, he's on.
I might just go and bet against him. Like, take every bet against him.
66-1 to win it. It's just I mean, if he doesn't win the PGA Championship, he's probably like 200-1 this week. It's pretty wild. Just want to remind everyone too. After this, we have the bet show. Mangone, JJ, Bobby, Snyder, Uncle T, giving out winners. So that's a free show after this with the crew. So make sure you guys check that out after we're done here.
Very good, Snyder. You're 1 and 2, and then take us into the next range, 7K.
I think I'm going to go with Will Zalatoris for my 1 here and kind of fade that Finau chalk, I think.
Oh, man.
You got to. I mean, this is the play. You guys are going to bury me for fading Finau. And
we're back on the West Coast, Snyder. I think it's a bad fade. I really do. I think we're closer to Hawaii. We're close. Like it's.
I just love to see it.
Remember what we said.
Love it.
Remember what we said a couple weeks ago. We said we're done fading Snyder. I said it. I said, you know what? If Snyder has a take, I'm rolling with it because this guy's on fire. But this is going to test.
That's why I'm tilted.
I don't know if I can do that. I'm not going to make fun of him, but I don't know if I can do it.
It's definitely very, very risky. But I mean, I don't know. I think I'm going to go Rose with my second then. I mean, looking into him more a little bit here, I mean, I really liked what you said about him. You got me bought onto him. I mean, I think I'm going to put Rose over Hatton. I mean, and that's where I'm going to go. And then I'm going to dip down in this 7K range, which I really like this 7K range. I mean, it's pretty loaded, I think. I mean, Abe Ancer, he's up top. He should be really popular, I think, this week as his recent form is just really good. But I don't think he's had that good a results here at Torrey, and I don't think he's played that well in the U.S. Open as a whole. So I think if he becomes chalky, I think that's a really solid fade there as well in GPPs. Jason Kokrak, I have a lot of interest in him. He comes off his second win a few weeks ago. He's been playing just great golf. He's got 4 top 10s in his last 7 events. The approach play has just been right there. It's been trending upwards, which is what I want to see from him. He's gaining 3 strokes on average over the last 5 events. The putting's been right there. I think he's really good off the tee as well. And he avoids bogeys too. I mean, he's right up there in the top 10 and avoiding bogeys. And Shane Lowry, I think he might be the most mispriced guy in this field. I mean, he's coming off his third top 10 in his last 4 events. He got 6th at the Memorial last week, 4th at the PGA, 9th at Heritage. I mean, he even got 8th at the Players earlier this year. The iron play has just been great. He's gained strokes in his last 7 events with his irons. He's made the cut in 5 of his last 6 appearances at the U.S. Open. He's got 2 top 10s. So I like that. Max Homa, California kid. He went to school here, Cal Berkeley. He recently won the Genesis here, which is a comp course. Got the same type of rough here with that Kikuya. I like that. He's typically a boom bust kind of guy. I mean, he's either going to finish like top 10 or he'll probably just miss the cut. You look at his recent form, he's went 6th, miscut, 6th, miscut, 10th, 22nd, 1st, 7th. And I like what I saw with his iron play last week. The putter's working well. I mean, he should do really well on this surface. He's really comfortable with it. I think he gets a boost here just playing in Cali and coming off that strong performance. He's kind of a momentum guy, I think. Charlie Hoffman, he's another guy I think he looks underpriced down here. He comes in with really solid form. He's made his last 11 cuts. He's finished inside the top 20 in 7 of his last 9 events, which is really strong for this price tag. He's got 3 top 10s in that as well. He's got solid U.S. Open history, making 5 of his 6 cuts. And he made a comment like about a month or 2 ago. He was talking about how he really wanted to qualify for this event because it's in his hometown of San Diego. He was born here and really wanted to play the event here, and he made it. So he actually finished 9th at the Farmers in 2020 as well. So that's an upside for him.
Who's that?
Charlie Hoffman.
Okay.
7.2, yeah. Garrick Higo, I mean, I liked him coming in. I was targeting him coming in, but then he won last week, so I'm not sure how he's going to respond off that win. I mean, he's 22 years old. I mean, he could have been out partying all week. I mean, I don't know. I mean, he's been playing really well overseas. He's had 3 or 4 wins overseas, so I think he's hopefully used to winning kind of at this point, and he takes this really serious, but I'm not sure about him. His driving accuracy is a bit of a worry for me. And then Matt Wallace down here, 7-1. He struggled recently, but I liked how his irons were good again. Gained 4.6 strokes with his approach. I think he makes for a solid GPP target down here. I don't think he's going to be that high owned. He plays these difficult tracks really well. Putts well in POA. These long par 4s he's really good at. I think he should come in like 5% or lower. So I like that. And the last guy I'm going to talk about here is Robert McIntyre, 7K. He's made 10 of his last 11 worldwide cuts. Finished 49th at the PGA, gained over 3 strokes approach there. Solid off the tee. He lost 3 strokes putting at the PGA, I think. He made the cut at the 2020 U.S. Open. So I think I got some conviction on him down there. And I mean, yeah, this 7K range is just loaded, I think.
Yeah. I mean, loaded is kind of a loaded term. Because I mean, I think there's a lot of just like absolute bust plays too, but yeah, I agree with you for the most part. Hoop, what are you doing with the 7K range?
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of guys here, obviously. A lot of guys that I think are mispriced. Casey, Answer, both solid plays to me at 7.9K. Did you have a take on Fitzpatrick, Snyder? I was curious to hear.
No, I don't really know what to do with him. I mean, he's been hitting his irons like a donkey, and I don't know if I can trust him here.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, he was a guy I was kind of going back and forth on, but if you guys don't know, you have anything on him, AP? Fitzpatrick? Yeah.
He pisses me off. I play the guy in good spots and he just sucks. And then I don't play him and he's awesome. So
I know Mangone was talking him up. He likes him this week. I was talking to him earlier.
Yeah,
Man going would love Fitzpatrick. That's all I know.
yeah, I'm torn. I'm torn on him. Shane Lowry, I agree with. Just it's kind of a miss. Him and Kokrak, I think, are two of the best guys down here. Just they could be in the 8K range, and I think I'd still have interest in both of them. Gary Woodland is a guy I think is interesting as well. Neiman's a guy I can't decide what I'm going to do with. I've been on Neiman so much lately, but I just hate playing guys that the results are trending in the wrong direction. And that's kind of the case with Neiman. He was on a heater for a while, and then Valspar finished 8th, and then 18th at Wells Fargo, 30th at the PGA Championship, 50th at the Charles Schwab, and then missed the cut at the Memorial. Is there anything in his game? I know Snyder, you look at these
the only
stats.
thing I don't like about Neiman is he hasn't been hitting many fairways lately, and his around the green game has really been bad. I mean, he's been I think he ranks like 132nd, around the green, and he's over 100 in scrambling. I mean, I think this course is going to eat him up.
Yeah, very possible. You like Woodland?
I never play Woodland, so I'm not the guy to go for that.
All right, Harman.
Let's be easy on my guy, Gary.
I'm always going to play a guy like Harman. I mean, it almost seems like with Harman, it doesn't matter the course setup. Like he just finds a way to succeed at these courses. He's done very well at these majors and big events. The Masters 12th, PGA, or he missed the cut at the PGA Championship, so I kind of take that back a little bit. But I've been playing well overall. 7.44K. He's treated the RPS community quite well. To Adam Scott at 7.4, I have some interest in him. He's made a lot of cuts. I mean, the only cut he's missed, I think, dating back to like last year was at the PGA Championship. 7.4K. I don't hate that. Harris English, I'm going to be on a little bit. Higo, I figured that Higo would end up being pretty popular this week. I thought after he won last week, everyone would be on him, but it's not looking like he's going to have all that much ownership. I do hate playing guys after a win, but he's only 7.2K. I don't need him to win again. I need him to make the cut here, and I need him to finish T30, T25, and I'll be happy. I think he can do that. He's very talented. I watched a lot of him last week. I mean, he just looks very good, very solid, didn't seem rattled at all. Stewie Sink, I've been playing Stewie Sink basically every opportunity I can get. I love where he is at, and he's hitting the ball a little longer, which we talked about. I think he makes a cut here. Hoffman, I'm on. Matt Wallace is another guy I've been playing a lot. Haven't made really a decision on him. Ryan Palmer at 7.1K. I think he's a cut maker type guy. Had that stretch where he made a ton of cuts, missed at the PGA Championship. I think I can see myself going back to Ryan Palmer as well. I think that is that's it for me in this range.
Yeah, let me first start with the guy that you both were. Snyder comes in, he's like, I never play that guy. So Gary Woodland, I love him this week. I think is one of the better value plays in this range, 7,500. Former U.S. Open champion at a course not too far from here. So I just think like these small greens, the POA, everything aligns for him. And in addition to that, the last time we saw him was the Memorial where he missed cut. Before that, 14th at the Charles Schwab, 38th at the PGA, 5th at the Wells Fargo. He has a couple top 10s this year alone. But I know that, one of the reasons we haven't seen him since the Memorial, he's been putting a lot of time in with Butch Harmon, getting his swing up and going. He's a guy, Kansas guy. He always gets up for two events, in my opinion, the U.S. Open and the PGA Championship. It's just he's a patriotic guy. And, man, I love him this week. I'm going to be very high on him. The thing about him, like he's good putting on POA too, obviously with the win out here, but he's good par 4 scoring right now. He's good, a very good ball striker. His approach game is good. The only struggle has been off the tee, which historically he's been a beast off the tee. So I feel like these straight fairways are going to suit his game really well. I feel like he's going to have his driver dialed in. And I feel like he's just going to be one of those guys that knows what he needs to do. He's going to hang around. He's going to let others make mistakes. And I think he's going to end up being one of the better values on the slate. Shane Lowry, I think, is going to be the chalk guy. All the numbers look good. I want to play him. At the same time, I don't want to play him because I don't play him very often. And I just know that I play him here and he's just going to tilt me. Again, T6, T4, a 65 at the Wells Fargo, T9, T21 at the Masters. I mean, the guy is in the zone right now. I don't know, but at the same time, I don't really want to play him because I don't play him very often. He's just super hot right now. So, and he's underpriced. I get it. I have some interest in Sam Burns, guys. Like, I feel like he's going to be very low owned. And, he went on that streak. We got a win, a second. He had a withdrawal at the PGA T50. I feel like enough time has passed. The guy's a monster off the tee. I feel like he's another guy, very athletic. He's going to be able to get out of this rough. And he's won this year and backed it up with the second place finish. Now the next step, and we've seen it with these young guys that are kind of proven, is to contend in a major. Saw it with Matt Wolff. Obviously, he's kind of a disaster right now, but he got his win and he contended at a major. Obviously, saw it with Morikawa these young guys. He's the next guy that I think is going to be contending in majors. I'm never playing Tommy Fleetwood. You guys mentioned Matt Fitzpatrick. I just saw my notes right now. He's a cut for me. Very, very easy cut. His approach game isn't good. I don't know. I don't play him, but at the same time, I wouldn't fault someone for playing him. I never get him right. So he's a cut for me. Love Abe Answer. Love Paul Casey. One of the other values in this range that I really like is Carlos the Kid Ortiz, a monster off the tee, drives the ball very straight. Actually, I mean, man, he's a guy that can hang with the Brysons, Wyndham Clarks. We all think of Bryson as like this guy that is out driving everyone, but that's not the case at all. Snyder, who's the guy last week that was like average like 360 off the tee? I mean, these guys just absolutely crush the ball.
I'm not sure.
He's in this field. Wilco.
He's in the field too. We'll get to
Wilco Nienbauer, if that's a Nienberg.
Yeah, Nienberg. I mean, these young guys can absolutely crush the ball and can hang with Bryson. So, like, I mean, Bryson is definitely, the longest hitter, but there's guys that are very close to him. Carlos Ortiz is one of those guys. He's made a ton of cuts in a row. I think his distance off the tee is really going to help him out. I feel like he's going to fly a little bit under the radar this week. I'm going to have a sprinkle. Ryan Palmer is a guy with good course history here. His game has been up and down recently. I might have him in my pool just because of his experience out here. And he has to feel comfortable out here at this course. So I might have a little bit of him, but outside of that, I'm going to be making a ton of cuts in this range. Charlie Hoffman, you guys both mentioned, I think he's a phenomenal play as well. Stuart Sink. I don't need to go back through everyone, but for me, my 1 and 2 in this range, I got to go Gary Woodland as my definite number 1. And then I got to say Abe Answer as my number 2. I think he's a very, very safe play this week with how he's been playing in majors and in non-majors. He's just constantly getting it done. So that's going to be where I'm at with my 1 and 2. Snyder, what were your 1 and 2 in this range?
I'm going to go with probably Jason Kokrak and either Max Homa or Lowry. I mean, I did overlook Adam Scott. I really do like him this week. I kind of got on him later today. I mean, looking at his recent form, I don't think he's missed a cut since like March of 2020. He's missed one cut, I think, in that time span.
Yeah.
But, I mean, he shows up for these big-time events. I think he's at his price. I think his top 20, 30 upside is really good here. I mean, so I definitely like him as well.
Yeah, real quick before I kick it to Hoop, we know Adam Scott struggles with the putter. When you're looking at his past, we'll just say 36 rounds on POA specifically, Where do you think he falls, Snyder? Like, do you think he's inside the top 30, outside the top 30?
Well, I do know Poa is the only surface that he gains strokes on putting, and if you look at his,
you know it then.
his last,
he's 13th in this field when you're
nice.
looking at Poa. So I mean,
who's that? Who is that?
Adam Scott. It's a surface that he likes. Yeah.
His last win came at the Genesis here, which is a comp course. I think it's got that same type of rough and pretty much the same setup.
Yeah, I like that call quite a bit. Hoop, what about you? You're 1 and 2 in this range, and then take us into the 6K range.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of plays here. I'm going to say Coke Rack 1. I'll go Shane Lowry, number 2. I like both those guys.
I can't fade him then, right? Like, would that be a bad fade? Not to interrupt you, but like,
I think I agree with Snyder in the fact that he's one of the most mispriced guys, and I don't think he's going to be all that highly owned. People don't like playing Shane Lowry, so I think it's a situation where he's mispriced, and I don't think he's going to be like massively owned because he's mispriced, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, all right, down in the under 7, I mean, it falls off obviously pretty quick. I mean, this is a event where, the winner most likely comes from, a top 20 golfer in the world. And, we're just coming down here to have the ability to play the guys in that upper tier. So I don't have a ton of guys down here. Some that I have interest in. I think Jonathan Vegas is a guy that the game is trending in the right direction. He's made 5 straight cuts, finished second last week at the Palmetto. Very good off the tee. I mean, he's elite off the tee. And if there's one thing you want from a player at this event this week is good off the tee game, he provides you with that. I think he has a chance to top 20 here, and 6.8K, you'll gladly take that, especially when you look at this. We don't have a ton of value plays. Wyndham Clark is a guy I'm going to play here at 6.7K. Another guy very good off the tee. The results could be all over the map, though. I mean, these guys are not safe plays. But Wyndham Clark is a guy that I've seen compete at PGA Tour events, 6.7K. I'll be in on him. Brendan Steele at 6.5K has made a ton of cuts, and we've talked about it a lot of times on the show. I mean, he had one of the more impressive stretches. I mean, it almost defies odds. The Valero, the Wells Fargo, and the PGA Championship. He made cuts in all 3 of those events, finished 77th, 70th, and 77th. I mean, a 3-event stretch where you make the cut and finish basically dead last, that's tough to do. But he's made cuts. He made a cut at the Memorial as well, 37th. You'd gladly take a made cut in 37th from Brendan Steele this week, and I think that's a real possibility. I'm still kind of digging through some of these guys. I mean, you have a lot of these qualifier dudes and stuff that have like 0% chance. So, I mean, those are really kind of the only 3 guys that I'm looking at under 7K as it stands right now.
Yeah, and I mean, you gotta in a major, you gotta be careful with the 6K range. Obviously, especially multi-entering, you don't want to get overexposed to any one of these guys unless you have like a solid read on them. But the risk on them on many of them is extremely high. So I agree with you there, Snyder. What are you doing with the 6K range?
Yeah, this 6K range is a little tough for me this week. I'll be leaning on the GOAT AP here more, but I think I'm not usually a Brendan Todd guy, but I mean, he hits a lot of fairways. I think he could hit fairways, hit some greens, and make a cut here. I mean, that's about what I could see the best case scenario for him. I mean, he could maybe finish like 50th or something. This Cameron Young kid, Corn Ferry guy. Yeah. He's got some great success recently with back-to-back wins here in May on the Corn Ferry Tour. He can bomb it off the tee. I think he's averaging 316 on the Corn Ferry Tour. The accuracy off the tee is a little shaky, though, at times. He played the Farmers here earlier this year and barely missed a cut. He shot 74, 72. I think he's a large field GPP guy. He'll be like 1% owned, if that. RCB last week, he burned everyone. I mean, he was high owned. I think I'm going to go right back to him and just write that off as a bad week. I mean, he had some pretty solid form heading into that event, and he's got good U.S. Open history. He's made his last 5 cuts, and he finished 23rd in his last U.S. Open. And I think he hits the fairway at a high clip. I mean, that's going to be key. I really like going back to him. And then Brendan Steele as well. I mean, just generally plays well on this West Coast. I mean, he's made his last 12 cuts. He just loves playing on this West Coast. He likes the POA out here. He's got a strong short game. He can hit the ball over 300 yards off the tee. I mean, that's about it for me in this range right now. I'll be leaning on AP more on this 6K range.
You guys might just log off when I give you my notebook. But I'm telling you, because they just switched. I'll tell you the other guy I was on, but you guys really might like tell me I might not be back for next week with how dusty this guy is. But I actually feel very good about it, and I think he's a really good play. But I'll save him for last. Hoop, I agree with you on Vegas. You love his game off the tee. Again, the straight fairways, I think helps a guy like Johnny Vegas. Maybe I'm overemphasizing that, but I do think just like when I look, and I've never played it, so I don't know. But when you look at it, just everything seems right out in front of you. You know where you're at. You know you can't miss fairways. And so some of these guys, like a Brendan Todd, for example, like he's actually surprisingly good on par 4s, which is something I'm waiting this week. His putting is phenomenal. And, he finished T23 last year at the PGA or at the US Open. So I agree with Snyder on that call. I think Brendan Todd is fine. Cam Young, have I seen this guy play? No. Have I read a lot about him? Yeah. Like he dominated the Corn Ferry Tour, like Snyder said. Everything I look at says he's good. So I'm going to have a little piece of him. I don't want to go too heavy in this range, though. Like we said, Wyndham Clark, I'm on him. Good history here in California. I'm going to lean on that. Good on POA, a very good POA putter, and he's good around the greens, which will be fairly important this week. The other guy was Patrick Rogers. So let me pull it up. I believe he was a workbench play for us. It was a California event. Snyder, do you remember what that was? Had to be the Genesis. Yeah, the Genesis. That's back in February. We got on Patrick Rogers, and he was our maybe not workbench, but I believe he was a notebook play or the 6K play.
He was a notebook play.
Notebook play. Okay, so he finished 12th there. A comp course, like Snyder said. This is a guy that pops out here. He's very good putting on POA. Feels comfortable at courses like this one. So I like him quite a bit. But I'm making a ton of cuts down here. I think you have to. But my favorite play, this guy recently started popping. He won a qualifier to get in here. And actually, when I went back and looked, I overlooked him. Playing him last week. I had no idea that he absolutely dominated his qualifier, but it was Ches Reavie. This guy came out of nowhere. His game has been off, he missed a ton of cuts in a row, but something clicked in his game. He destroyed the qualifier that he was in. He followed it up with the T14 at the Palmetto, and he's got some history at U.S. Open's T3 in 2009, which was Pebble Beach, obviously, which Gary Woodland won, a comparable course to this one. So he's obviously, feels comfortable out here hitting into these small greens. And additionally to that, he has no history at Torrey Pines. So we're basically going on, his recent form. He's cheap. And he's a guy that has just kind of popped in the past, and he gets hot. So Ches Reavie is, I'm going to lean and bank on this recent form. I'm going to bank on the fact that he's gotten hot in the past, and he's finished high in a couple of majors. Again, very risky play for sure. I'm not going to have a ton of them. He's not like a go, he's not like get 20, 25, 30%. I think, he's a guy you can sprinkle 10%, 15% is plenty. You're going to be well over the field on any of these guys if you get them 7, 10, 15%. So, but for me, Chez Reavie is going to be that guy down in this range. Him and Patrick Rogers is going to be my favorite two plays. Snyder, go ahead and give us your
what was the official notebook?
Chez Reavie.
Chez is official? All right.
Official, yeah.
All right.
I feel like I didn't sell him good enough, but look, this guy's good off the tee. He's gone on some credit. I'm trying to monitor the chat. We're getting close to our winners right now, so I'm trying to do my due diligence there. And but Chez is like this guy that just, when he gets going, he hits greens. He's almost like a Brendan Todd. Hits greens, hits fairways, hits greens. And I feel like with everything right out in front of him, with his game trending in the right direction, with him smashing the qualifier, following it up with a nice finish at the Palmetto, you got to like where he's at right now. So I think he makes the cut, and I think he surprises everyone. And I think he's going to end up being 1% on. So the notebook play of the week, Chez Reavie. Snyder, 1 and 2.
I'm going to go Rafa Cabrera Bello 1 and Brendan Steele 2.
I like that. Hoop, what about you? Give me your 1 and 2. And then I'm going to have you guys. Actually, yeah, just go ahead and give me your 1 and 2.
Number 1 is going to be Vegas. And then number 2 is going to be Mr. Steele.
Okay, very good. So, Snyder, do you have your winners picked? I want to do one last sweep through chat because we're getting ready. We got the 888 ticket that we are going to give away. I want to do one real quick read over of the chat to find our winner. Go ahead and give us your 2 winners this week.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to go with back to another guy. I mean, the last time we saw this guy at over 20-1 odds, and we cashed tickets on him at Quail Hollow. I mean, going right back to Rory McIlroy, 21-1 to win this event. I think he's right there. Yeah, and if you want like a higher odds guy, I mean, I really only think there's maybe 15, 20 guys that have a chance of winning this event. But if you're going to go higher, I like Shane Lowry. I mean, he opened up, I think, right around 80-1, like in the last week. And he's been steamed down. He's all the way down to 45-1 at DraftKings right now.
I like that. Hoop, let me kick it over to you. We got a few good contenders for the 888 ticket. Just trying to, go through these last few things. Do you have your 2 winners for this week?
Yeah, I mean, I was actually going to say Rory. So I got to make a little pivot. I like the Rory call. I think he is definitely in good shape to win this thing. So I'm just gonna piggyback because that's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say Rory. I haven't been playing a lot of Rory. Just feels like a week where I think he can succeed and kind of win. You got the Brooks and the Bryson narrative going. He's kind of flying under the radar a little bit in terms of the media. So I'm gonna go with Snyder on Rory. And then coming down, a guy that I think can definitely win here. Let me think. Give me Kokrak. I like Kokrak. I definitely think he has the winning upside here. I am with Snyder, though. I do think there's a very limited number of guys that can win this event this week. 15 to 20 guys, I think, at the most that I can look at and say, yeah, there's a real chance they can win. I honestly think Kokrak's one of them. He's been playing that well, and he's cheap at 7-6. So Rory, Kokrak, those are the guys for me.
Yeah, I like that. I'll go ahead and give my winners. Well, I was just looking over this. So yeah, one of them, Brooks Koepka. I'd be remiss if I didn't. I think he's going to win. I mean, very close between him and Rahm, but with Rahm being the tournament favor, I'm going to go Koepka. Then I'm going to say Gary Woodland. I don't even know what his odds are. I don't have them pulled up right now, but I think it was like 70 or something to 1. I don't know if you guys have his odds up, but Gary Woodland, 7,500. I'm still looking for him. 66 to 1. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I was looking in the wrong section. That makes me love him even more for DFS. I mean, man, 60. Phil Mickelson's up there too. I couldn't imagine betting Phil Mickelson at 66 to 1. Gosh, those are.
If Woodland gains over
so
7 strokes putting again, he might just win.
Yeah, I like that quite a bit. So, I mean, guys, we're looking over it right now. We're looking at these comments. We got some right up top. I mean, who? You got to lean. Do you want to take this? You want me to take this? What do we do?
Yeah, I mean, a couple of these comments are really good. I mean, the one that we have tagged here, I think almost has to be the winner, and it's in regards to your boy, right? Chesson Hadley last week. We talked about it at the beginning of the show.
It pains me, man.
Yeah,
go ahead, though.
Yeah, he absolutely pissed down his leg on Sunday, and right out of the gate. I mean, he gave himself zero chance. I think he opened up bogey, had a 4-shot lead, could have just coasted to a victory. He pooped his pants. And our boy Clint, I'm going to slaughter this last name, but Lilienthal said, my take is don't be posting family photos on the bench if you can't close the deal on Sunday. Chesson Hadley. If you're unfamiliar, you can kind of search that. Chesson Hadley and his family took family photos on the workbench, like AP. Like we both have kids similar age. Don't you think like that just doesn't seem like the spot for me where I want to take a family photo, right? I mean, yeah, we have active bench. Maybe he doesn't have an active bench. I don't know, but my bench is active, and I don't need a family pic on the workbench.
But judging by his wife's look last week when they kept showing her on camera, it's a very dry bench. I can tell you that. I mean, he didn't close the deal. He was not closing the deal with her. I promise you that. But that what a fabulous comment, Clint L. That's man. Chesson Hadley. Snyder, do you know if Chesson would have won, would he have gotten in this week? Was it a thing like that?
I'm not sure. I mean,
Higo's in. I can't recall if he was.
Usually on these majors, if you win that week before, they'll save a entry in for that guy.
So Clint L. Shoot us a message over here at Rump Your Sports, info at Rump Your Sports to claim your ticket. We'll get you hooked up and all ready to go. Or Discord. Cthal, shoot me a DM and we'll get that going. I see you in Discord and on the shows all the time. So congratulations again, the 888 ticket. Fellas, I'm very excited for this week. Do you have any final thoughts to close us down? Go ahead.
I mean, obviously looking forward to this major here. It's going to be interesting because even in some of these other majors where they say, the winning score is going to be in the single digits, it typically doesn't end up like that. These guys are so good where they find a way to kind of beat the course a little bit. This week, I don't think that's going to be the case. The winning score is not going to be very impressive. They want to get this thing as close as possible to even. Can they get there? We'll see. But some of the videos and pictures I've seen so far, it's going to be a tough course. It's going to be a tough test. You got to have the right mindset. That's why I said I really only think there's about 15 to 20 guys that really have a chance to win this week. So I'm going to try to maximize those guys in my lineups, and just looking forward to it.
Yeah, Snyder, final thoughts.
Yeah, I'm just really looking forward to this event. It's one of my favorite all year. I mean, I just love how it humbles some of these guys. I think it's going to be a real mental challenge for some of these guys if they're able to get through some of these up and downs that they're going to face. I mean, there's some mental midgets out there. I think Bryson might be one of them, and we'll see how he does.
Oh, yeah, very good. I agree with both of you guys. For me, very excited. Make cuts this week, make stands. I'm doing that. I'm cutting my boy Justin Thomas. I like money over my guys. So I don't think his game's there. Go with your gut, as we always say. Plant flags, get your player pool down. get overweight on plays. That's how you're going to ship. I promise you that. Yeah, very good show, guys. Again, congratulations to Clint to collect that 888 ticket. We got the bet show coming up right after this one. Mangone, JJ, and everyone. Tomorrow night, we got the Wednesday crew. We got Uncle T. We got Big T. We got JSU. They're going to take it late. I know they are. I believe they might be giving out another ticket. So stay tuned and make sure that you're there for that show. Again, with me, AP, Snyder, and Hoop, let's all run Pier.